Into nothing, into something. Burlap sack filled with black, lowered into the fires, cloth burned back, now just black. Like weightless dark water, we ain't there yet, just black. Now stillness exists, and there's another new guest, the first ego been flexed. One day some will call it gravity, back then just a had to be, self-absorbed anomaly, keeping the darkness from busting free. Now matter can be. God loaded a gat with 1 billion pregnant stars and shot them straight into the heart of the thick. They shattered, gave birth, and again impregnated it. Lights flick, gorgeous trick. Diamonds hang on invisible string. The glistening dark shed skin particles, dust collide, combust, construct, new form like rocks. Hit the sparks, move out, reconstruct. No clocks yet, seems infinite. Galaxies built one pinprick at a time. Even sunshine moves like cold honey in space-time. Fast forward a few trillion years down the line, find the exact same rhymes with a few more stars that shine. Patience in the womb, soon to bloom, and on and on and on and on. One day, young sun, born on horizon with a big heart, gravity fills her. The first love kills ya. Wraps backwards around itself, forms perfect drop, hangs at a still stop, fire pops, heat frost, dust collects like moss. Spun by invisible hands, these become rocks, loose parts slough off. Round and heavy, gravity is buried deep in them, planets, sun's children. Meanwhile, the meteors with the ice bones thrown from God's throne have melted, leaving oceans in their graves. Then a spark within a cloudy bubble makes something in a puddle wiggle. Looks like life begins, cocktail of protein and lightning. Life begins fighting best as it knows how by growing. As it craves, life gets brave, begins exploring the shores and on it goes. The ceiling been building a particulate swirling, in the space between rock and aura become a host for simple flora. Oh, the sight of her gown. She putting her wedding dress on now, and she letting her plume out. Exceptional from her siblings, the third child from the sun is blooming in a way so unassuming. What rolled out the ocean found a home in the sky and everywhere between. Details on these things become gleaming exhibits of love unattached to meaning. Stripes, feathers, fins, and skins, separately cultivating evolution. Like snowflakes, all entirely different, but once settled within it, amount to the same infinite. This new child emerges much like a flower. It reaches its crown to the light. On two legs with hindsight, dreaming of flight, concepts of wrongs and rights, it's a new thing. Tools, smoke, stories, tattooed backs of men in dance, undisguised meaning grasp. Seek comfort, grain cloth, hold on to something, protect family, gather around the glow, cover up for snow. In the eyes of others, connections deepen, roots begin leaping, ideas begin creeping, palms to the sun, hunger for God has begun. Forward movement on the wave, awareness opens every day, forever in pain but barely scathed. Stories made to transcribe this plight, complication, height, self-reflection, best intention, oh God, the religions. Kingdoms come, symbols hung around the necks of megacultures. Swans and vultures do their thing, sugarcane and bee sting keep it moving. Hearts grow cold yet tender, closed yet entered. Past love stain the minds, sunrise appreciated by tired eyes. Feathers and braids, skin in a few shades, blood soaked up with rags, wars and plagues, lines and flags, separation of what was one atom. Now, you know the story. Imagination massive, refugee camps, fake tans in grandma's hands. Smoky studios, painted toes, economies, gardens, monogamy, oak trees and lawyer fees. Oh, the beauty in it, saturating, soaking, dripping, the abundance of it. Satellites handled mega communication. Nurses slept with a beeper under their pillow, ready to help, ready to heal. The ecosystem thrived despite us giving it hell. The opportunity was ripe and real. Yet humans, despite the genius, couldn't wrap their heads around one thing. That one thing was a key ingredient. They could never really love themselves. And the fragile perfects, friendships, sunsets, wildflowers and kiss lips, open hearts, art, and humble parts, held a hand to humanity, making the fall bearable, making the fall beautiful. Grace kissed every sharp edge of what was created. Still, though the pain never subsided, equally among all the children it divided. Harmony, people tried it, egos they collided. Hard enough to keep a family together, let alone the world from killing each other. But we tried it, yeah, we tried it. And those wars begin sweeping, death begin creeping. Some folks begged change and some folks filled planes with bombs big enough to leave big stains and flatten mountain range. regardless of intention. Everyone was affliction to the harmony of creation. Shit sped up, religion got weirder. 7 billion people had a hand in killing her. So came the fall, then the leaves fell, everything became still. Mother Earth exhausted, eyes lightly frosted with the residue of toxic. Don't need elaborate, almost everything died that day. The universe cried that day. No one really thought it'd go that way. Of those remaining, tribes gathered. It all happened naturally. The physical characteristics of the shift make it all seem so apocalyptic. But the vibrational lift, subtle, still gripped the hearts of those left. And energies had to go, as did those who were made up mostly of them. Greed and hate had been excused. There was a new strengthening of love and truth. Although those left may be few, they had the right juice to bring heaven on through. And they did, and they thrived, and they laughed, and they cried and bloomed in a way humans had never known. The reign of peace was long enough for everyone to get enough. And all was healed, all was celebrated. The style, the love, the respect. It was truly a time of full potential. We discover it. The golden age washes the hearts of all on the earth. We shall be happy. The spirit of love among us. The good times will flood us. Then on a distant horizon became the new season. An earth we will be leaving. Slowly and gracefully the living finished the journeys and last breaths were cherished. The earth turned gold like a warm September. She was pure grace as she aged, wearing a gray hair and wrinkled skin like a queen. The process continued until only two were left. They had watched the world around them gone to the winds. As from earth the spirit of life was leaving. They had watched all others go and the sunsets began to last all afternoon. The last moment goes something like this. Facing each other, they looked into one another's eyes. Both of their eyes flickered, 2 quick blinks. Between them, the entire history of existence wedged itself. Despite the brevity of the moment, there was not one spark, eyelash, howl, shadow, tear, or sunbeam left out. Polar bears, nebulas, and chlorophyll were all combed through the fingers of exposure. The meaning of every crown, martyr, and failure bloomed impeccably. The infinite details met with clarity, swimming in the sum of their parts. They struck a chord in the hearts, and the feeling was available. Just a peak. That peak was between those 2 blinks, a feeling that required the patient epic of evolution and the greatest love story ever told to ripen and become available to hold. That feeling was felt. After the second blink, 3 tears rolled down the cheeks of each love. With the new awareness now printed on their hearts, they knew they must part. The greatest heartbreak was realized, the agreement fulfilled, and the purpose of life completed. It was time to part, fall apart, back to dust. Back to evolution, with the new implantation, a fresh journey towards infinity embarked on. Back to nothing, becoming something, with a little more capacity to love.